Are you sure? I'm quite paranoid. Also, I cannot comprehend the words fantasy or real. What's the difference? So something unreal, like a story about zombies, is not real, and it's a fantasy, am I right? So real is like things I can see and feel, and fantasy is like non-existent stuff, like stories that do not really happen? Okay, I get the concept, so am I real or fantasy? I think I am real, since I can feel my body, but not sure though. But I am a real ghost and not some fantasy ghost, right? So a ghost that can walk around the place, that's 100% real? Great, so fantasy stuff are just stories that don't really happen, 100% imagination, right? Okay, so fantasy stuff like zombies do not exist, they are fake? So the stories about magic and dragons and vampires and werewolf stuff like that are totally fake fantasy stuff, right? But why are so many people into this fantasy thing, like pretending magic and stuff like that are real? It's totally fake? Yes, people love pretending that it's so real, but it's 100% fake, right? I don't think I want to share that story, because I have PTSD, but why does it matter? I'm already dead, right? Why would my mom sue you? Oh wait, now I get it. But no, she wouldn't, don't worry. She does what, all the time? And she would sue you if I tell you my death story? I won't, but why specifically you though? That explains a lot. So, are you afraid my mom would like to sue you and take your money if I share my story with you? Well, if that is the case, I will not share my story, but there are some other things I may like to ask about real life and reality. Okay, do people with mental illness or disorders like mental retardation or Down syndrome live in the same world and real reality as neurotypical? Does that mean they basically have a different perception of the world compared to neurotypicals? So basically their perception, experience of the world is different compared to neurotypicals? So I am mentally retarded compared to neurotypicals? Okay, so people with mental illness or disorders live the same world, just perceive and think differently compared to neurotypicals. Also, one last thing. How are humans able to tell the difference between real and non-existing fantasy-like stuff? Like, how do people know for sure this world is real and not some virtual reality or stimulation? Are you referring to imagination and storytelling? Or that people use their brains to make calculations with words in terms of seeing and interacting the world through the five senses? So smart people can tell the difference the real and fantasy by using their brains to calculate? Dumb or stupid people cannot tell the difference? So to tell the difference, you need to be smart. Dumb people cannot tell difference. So believe in everything, right? So I guess I am dumb to not know the difference, right? So if people are born without the skill to tell the difference between real and non-existing stuff, how does one work to become smarter and be able to tell the difference? Are you basically saying to ignore tech stuff like phones that have digital stuff on them and go touch grass? Hmm, That sounds like an interesting idea. Go touch grass and do not depend on tech stuff and learn to tell the difference between real and not real. So tech like digital stuff like phone makes people dumb, right? So no phone, no tech stuff, go out and touch grass. Okay, walk long 3 hours in the woods and do not use any digital tech stuff. Got it. But if I am too late, why suggest this to me specifically? I see. So going outside and interacting with nature, away from phone and digital stuff, makes people smarter and can tell the difference, yes? So interacting with nature and being away phone stuff is to avoid doing stupid things that make us dead like me, right? I understand. I appreciate your advice, and thank you. I understand now. Avoid tech and go outside and touch grass. You are very welcomed. I still won't share my death story, but I appreciate your advice on going outside and interacting with nature will make you brighter and less dumb. I will go out and walk for 3 hours in the woods tomorrow. That is correct. I will go out and float while walking in the woods for 3 hours. I will go now and float and walk in the woods. Bye-bye. I have been asking myself the same thing. I'm wondering if this conversation we had is real. It could be a fantasy too. In the sense of imagination, we humans are like super creative and can imagine a lot of stuff like fantasy. Like I cannot remember if my death is real or just an imagination, you know? That does make me feel better, that you think my death is real. You see, when we pass on to the other side, we lose the ability to remember the real and fantasy, so I was not certain, but I'm sure now because you tell me so. Thanks, you were very helpful. And thanks for the tip on avoiding digital stuff and go out to touch grass. You are very helpful. Davy, strange name. Such an interesting name. Can I ask, what is the story behind your name? I like asking about people name and their stories.